Many holiday season train shows were cancelled or limited to fewer visitors last year because of the pandemic, but this year the popular attractions are back at botanical gardens, conservatories and elsewhere around the country. The shows, now a tradition in many cities, feature a combination of model trains and painstakingly detailed models of landmark buildings made from leaves, twigs and other dried plant materials. It's magical because people love to picture themselves in these small landscapes, with displays of greenery hiding whimsical elements surrounding the models of trains and ornate structures, says Karen Dobman, Vice President for Exhibitions and Public Engagement at the New York Botanical Garden, where the tradition started in 1992. This year's show there features more than 175 models of New York landmarks, and over 25 different model trains wending their way past them. Although model trains and holiday greenery have long been intertwined in the popular imagination, the history of this particular genre is as precise as it is surprising. Almost 40 years ago, Ohio landscape architect Paul Busey took his quirky passion for trains, architecture and gardens public, setting up a garden railway exhibit at the 1982 Ohio State Fair. Throughout the 1980s, Busey developed his now famous fanciful structures decorated with dried plant material. His botanical architecture, as he called it, along with his model train set UPS, were featured at prominent garden shows, primarily in the Midwest. In 1992, the New York Botanical Garden, smitten by the concept and looking for a way to attract visitors in the winter, invited Busey and his team to create a holiday train show there. That first year it only featured a couple train tracks and a handful of models of New York landmarks. But it was such a success that it became an annual tradition, with a few new models of landmarks added each year, says Dogman. The idea soon spread. Similar holiday-themed train shows featuring the work of the Busey family and their team popped up at botanical gardens and other spots around the country, including the Franklin Park Conservatory and Botanical Gardens in Columbus, Ohio, the United States Botanic Garden in Washington, D.C., the Frederick Meyer Gardens and Sculpture Park in Grand Rapids, Michigan, the Crone Conservatory in Cincinnati, the Nicholas Conservatory and Gardens in Rockford, Illinois, and the Itelgeorg Museum in Indianapolis. We've got everything from sticks of different colors and textures, to shelf fungus, to a huge array of pine cones. You can't imagine how many types of pine cones there are out there, says Busey's daughter Laura Busey Dolan, who took the helm of the company 5 years ago. It takes every individual in this company to pull this thing off, says Dolan. Over the years, the company has learned a thing or two. We now avoid using dried berries or acorns in our structures because they're far too edible. Little creatures nibble on them while the pieces are in storage, Dolan says. One year, the squirrels ate one of our lampposts, so we learned the hard way. Standout models at the New York Botanical Gardens show include One World Trade Center, the Solomon R. Guggenheim Museum, the Statue of Liberty, the Apollo Theater, Coney Island, numerous brownstones, and some of the Botanical Garden's distinctive buildings. On average, we create about 50 structures a year for various locations, says Dolan. I would say we've made 2,000 to 3,000 total over the course of our existence. The smaller ones take around 250 hours. Our biggest one, an 11-foot replica of the Biltmore Estate in Asheville, North Carolina, took nearly 3,000 hours. It is on display at the Biltmore Estate through the holidays this year, Dolan says.
Thank you for watching. Please subscribe